Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. We're still a few weeks away from the downtown Knoxville Boat Show. The boat show deals are already available at Madisonville Marine on all kinds of boats. Get down there this week, pick your boat, buy it. Madisonville Marine will store it for you until spring. It's perfect. There's no better place to buy a boat than Madisonville Marine. All right, and there's no better person to talk about the transfer portal or recruiting with than Ryan Callahan from GoVols247.com. Ryan, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I am going to quickly put up some numbers and run through some stuff here before we get your take on them. And then I want to get the latest on offensive tackle, on receivers and tight ends, and anything else that may be breaking. So let's take a look at the guys who are incoming to Tennessee from the transfer portal. They got another one from Alabama yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember. I'm old. Tight end there, Kitselman. And then they also got Jalen McMurray from Temple earlier this week. You see the other guys who are in there, and then there's a question mark in red at the bottom. What you got over there on the right is their score from last year. Now, some of these guys didn't play very much at all, so the scores can be a little, you can take them or leave them, but these are from ProFootballFocus. That's how they graded them. And on the right is what their grade means. So Kitselman had an 89% grade when he played last year, which would grade out as a starter to ProFootballFocus. Same with Chris Brazell from Tulane. Same with Lance Hurd, the offensive lineman they're chasing from LSU. Then you see the guys who they've got coming in, McMurray, McCoy, Stays, all graded as backups, and Jacoby Thomas graded as a guy you would typically like to replace. Now let's take a look at the outgoing guys just for comparison. There are more of them. You see Gerald Mincey going to Kentucky, of all places, backup level last year. The guys that played at starter level that might surprise people, according to ProFootballFocus, Wesley Walker, Tamarion McDonald, all right? Tyler Barron, I think most people would guess. And then you've got Brandon Turnage, Warren Burrell as backup level, et cetera, Mo Clipper and Danico Slaughter were the guys that were ranked as replaceable, and then some guys didn't play at all or didn't play enough to get a grade to begin with. All right, now you've seen that. My question for you, Ryan, let's start with offensive tackle, because with Mincey going, that's your position of need right now. Lance Hurd from LSU is a guy who was a top 2-3 prospect coming out of high school. It's believed Tennessee's in the lead, or at least as of yesterday, they were in the lead. What's the latest?
Yeah, I still think Tennessee's in good shape there. This one's been a little strange the past few days. I know it led to some questions, but I still think Tennessee's looking like they're going to get that one across the finish line. Just a matter of when, not if, that one will happen. But it'll probably be at least another day or two before that anything becomes official with that.
And who are they battling?
The competition has been Oklahoma. There was talk at one point of Ole Miss getting a visit. I think what tells you that this one's close to being done is still no visit anywhere this weekend from Lance Hurd. He visited Tennessee and Oklahoma last weekend, didn't go anywhere this weekend. So I think that one's still just inching toward the finish line. Just Tennessee has been in good shape for a few days and hasn't gotten it completely done yet, but I think it's still headed that way.
When people leave here, we typically say, why are they leaving? When people come here, I'm going to say the same thing. Why is he leaving LSU? Any ideas?
Playing time. LSU has 2 locked-in tackles who are sophomores. He played behind those guys this year, played in 12 games, made 1 start when I think there was an injury in that game against Army, and otherwise just was a rotational guy at best and got in some mop-up duty. So tough situation for him. He expected to start next year, and they've got 2 guys that are going to be draft eligible in a year, but they're not there yet.
Ahead of him again, yeah.
Yep.
Kitselman, who's coming in from Alabama. Tennessee has continued to chase tight ends. Now, I'll get to that in a second. Tell me about Kitselman.
Yeah, a guy who mostly played on special teams and situationally as an extra blocker, second, third tight end type at Alabama. Was a late addition to their 2022 class a couple years ago. So really not a high-profile addition here, but a steady, proven player from another SEC school, SEC experience, you like that. And the biggest thing to me, you don't rock the boat with an Ethan Davis who thinks he maybe has a chance to be the number 2 tight end this season. It gives you some stability at that position where you previously had very little experience, and gives you a veteran to at least count on as someone you can play in a pinch, but also someone who's not going to threaten Holden Stays for the starting job.
That's what I was going to ask you, is there's been question as to why aren't you chasing Evan Stewart? Why aren't you going after another receiver? It seems they're happy with Brazil. That's it. But they keep chasing tight ends. Well, Ethan Davis was supposed to be a hot shot when he came in here. And, of course, there was all kinds of hype for Emanuel Acy. And granted, he was going to have to learn college football, American college football. But I wondered, why would a kid from Alabama transfer in if he just thinks he's going to be the number 3 guy or the number 4 guy? So this tells me he thinks he's got a shot to be the number 2 guy.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
And what does that say about Ethan Davis and Emanuel Acy?
Well, so Davis, a couple things on him. 1 year of high school football experience coming in. Missed his senior season with an injury. Came in, got hurt in the spring game last year. So didn't get in a lot of games last year because you had the 2 tight ends that were seniors that took most of the reps. Since he only played 1 tight end at a time, that made it tough for him to get enough experience. So not enough experience. He's still developing as a blocker. You need a second guy you can count on in case Ethan Davis isn't ready.
So we're looking at a room with 4 bodies in it? That's it? Is there a 5th body somewhere?
This gets them at 5 scholarship tight ends for next season.
The 5th
They added Cole Harrison, the high school signing, a late addition just before early signing day.
My question about Okoye, and again, this is a guy who was supposed to be everything under the sun, just a spectacular athlete, and this isn't a second guess, it was a first guess. Defense is where you need people, in my opinion. Wouldn't it be simpler, instead of bringing him in and teaching him to learn the tight end position and all that goes with it, receiving, blocking, if he's going to be Princeton Fant, throwing, everything under the sun, running the ball. Wouldn't it be easier to say, we're going to play you at defensive end with all these skills. See that guy? Go get him. That would seem to me to be an easier learn. Question on the fact that they've still got him at tight end, penciled into offense.
Yeah, I would agree with you that it's easier for him. If you were just thinking about only what's good for him, it might make some sense to get him on defense. The problem is Tennessee has almost too much depth at the edge Leo position there. Jordan Ross coming in, added him to Caleb Herring, Joshua Josephs, and obviously James Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce.
Hard to get those guys on the field. And then you also you need bodies at tight end, and they think Okoye is, the leaping ability can lead to a large catch radius. Lots of things to like there. He's just got to, like you said, learn the sport, develop hands, all those things. He'd never played tight end before he got here.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, if you put him at defensive end, let's say he's just part of a rotation. He's not having to play constantly, but he's getting on the field. As if you're the number 4 tight end or number 5 tight end, I don't know that we're going to see you this year.
It's probably not going to be
past year.
I wouldn't expect a lot this year. He looks like a guy who's at least another year away from doing much.
Yep. Okay, very good. Anything else we need to know about? Any other names out there other than Lance Hurd?
None that we're aware of right now, but it does look like Tennessee's still kicking the tires. There's still some guys out there, mostly from schools that have had coaching changes. So you're going to see a few names continue to go out there with Washington, Alabama,
Washington.
Michigan, that was just in the national championship game, could have guys enter the portal through yesterday. So we're starting to slow down. Classes start in about a week at Tennessee, so they've got to wrap it up soon. But still a chance to maybe add another guy here late if you find the right fit.
Excellent. All right. Let me remind folks, we've got a poll up there for you. Use your smartphone. Click on that. Let us know what your thoughts are, your confidence level in Tennessee basketball. Right now it looks like most of wow. A lot of people saying at least Elite 8 bound. It is a happy, happy choir out there. Keep clicking and tell us what you think, whether it's Elite 8, Sweet 16, or they won't even make it to the Sweet 6 to the second round. You tell us if you're positive, negative. Looks like the negative guys are dying. Sterling's out there whipping up the vote. When we come back, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, more on the transfer portal. Should Tennessee be doing more? If so, why aren't they? We'll discuss that next. We'll be back on the Sports Source.